Hi, my name is Jeremiah Hoffman, head golf professional at Rolling Meadows Golf Course. I'd like to welcome you to our fitting and instructional center here on the facility at Rolling Meadows. This short series of videos is designed to help you take some of these drills and topics that we discuss to the range and work on themselves. If you'd like more information on anything that we've talked about, or if you'd like to schedule a series of lessons, all my information can be found at rollingmeadowsgolfcourse.com under the tab JWPH Golf Academy. This first video today, we will talk about some basic principles that are in the golf swing and some things that you need to understand about the golf swing before we get too much into the technical side of it. There are three things that are really important. The first thing is that every shot or every swing that you make, we need to make sure that the golf club is accelerating when it hits the golf ball, or accelerating at impact. The second thing that is important is that the golf club remains square to you throughout as much of your swing as it can. And the final thing is that as we swing the club forward, or as the golf club approaches the golf ball, that club is coming on a circle or from the inside. So to expand on those things a little bit, we're down here on the range. We'll go over in a little bit more detail what each of those things mean. So the first thing is that we want to make sure that the golf club is gaining speed when it hits the golf ball. In order to do that, it's very important that we finish our swing. And by finish, it's more than just picking the club up and setting it on our left shoulder. We want to make sure that we swing the club to our left shoulder. If you think about a very, very simple arc, like this golf club swinging in a simple arc, you quickly will realize that its fastest point is in the middle. And that's because the club has to start, gain speed to a certain point, and then it stops and changes directions. When we swing the golf club, we want to make sure that we do the same thing. Too often, what I see with golfers is that they set up and they make a swing and they're very concerned about what's going to happen at the golf ball. And they become very ball oriented. When that happens, our swing stops shortly after impact, which means that our top speed is reached somewhere back here because now we're slowing down to brace for impact. To help you feel and understand that, what I would have you do is just take practice swings and think about making that club get all the way to your left shoulder. And then from there, progress to hitting shots where you're not thinking so much about what's going to happen to the ball, but more about making the club complete the swing and sit on your left shoulder at the finish. Okay? The second thing that we want to talk about and have you have an understanding of is that the golf club needs to be square to you. So what that means, first of all, in golf, when we talk about square, it's very, very simple. When we set up to the golf ball, the reason we call it square is because if we drew a line over the tips of my toes and one off of my club face, where they intersect would be 90 degrees. That golf club at address is square to me. For as much of my swing as I can, I want to maintain that relationship. And so the easiest way to visualize that, or the checkpoint to look at, if I turn and face the camera, is that when we swing the club, if we took your swing on video and paused it at parallel to the ground, we would want to see that the toe of the club is pointed straight up in the air. The self-check for you to take a look at and understand that it is in fact square to you is if you leave the club where it is, move your body, and set it down, it's exactly how we started. So as we continue the swing, and we go up over our right shoulder for the right-handed player, the golf club points pretty much toe down, which again, if we did the same thing, if I turned my body and face and brought the club down, it would look just like it did at address. That part of it is pretty simple for most players. The hard part is on the other side. So as we take the club from the top of our backswing and go forward, the important thing is that the golf club returns obviously to square where we started, and that we get it to go toe up the other way in front of us. And then that golf club continues to our left shoulder. So it's important to remember that the club in a half swing, if we just picture the lower half of the swing, moves from toe up in the backswing, returns to square or pointed at our target, and goes to toe up in the forward swing. In future videos, we'll talk a little bit more about that and give you some drills to work on that. The final principle that I want you to have a little bit of an understanding of before we go on with other videos and other drills is that the golf club needs to approach the golf ball on a circle. When we set up to the golf ball and we swing the club back and we get it to the top of our backswing, when we begin our forward swing, if you are somebody who slices the golf ball or occasionally tops it or hits it thin, chances are your golf club is coming from what we would call the outside to in and headed left, or an over-the-top swing. It's important to understand that if we watch tour players and very accomplished players, although their backswings look very, very different, every single one of them approaches the golf ball on a circle. They don't come straight down the line at the golf ball. It comes into the golf ball on a circle. And so what we want to understand is that when we swing the club forward, that club is going to come into the golf ball on a circle and then continue to that toe up that we talked about earlier. It's a lot of information in 3 things, but it's something that I want you to think about and have a little bit of an understanding that we'll refer back to in future videos. So again, the important things, just as an overview to remember from this video, are that we want to make sure that our golf club is gaining speed when it hits the golf ball. We want to make sure that we're trying to keep that golf club square to us for as much of the swing as we can, toe up to toe up. And number 3, that the golf club, as it approaches the ball, is coming from that inside circle or an inside to out swing and not over the top. In the next videos, we'll go over some drills to cover those. Until next time, thanks for watching. And as always, fairways and greens.